For soloing next, I recommend you to have these requirements: 99 magic, defense and constitution. It can be done with lower stats, but the higher stats you have, the better of course. 96 summoning, to be able to use a yak and unicorn. 96 Herblower, so you can use overloads and adrenaline potions. 87 plus divination, so you can make your own attuned portent of restorations. These will heal you when you go under 50% of your life points without using adrenaline. Access to the Stone of Chest boost for the 3 to 6% damage, accuracy and defense bonus. The Frozen Key, to be able to get to the next room. A ceremonial armor set, so you can enter the next bank without getting kill count. I also highly recommend you to have a 400 mil plus bank, so you can afford full tectonic or Verdus with a Verdus wand and book. Before you go to next, you should get the Stone of Chest boost first. This boost offers you a 3 to 6% damage, accuracy and defense bonus. You must have completed the ritual of the Majorette quest to be able to get this boost. So what I do is I grab my Slayer ring and I teleport to the Slayer caves, because west of that spot is a fairy ring. You could also use other fairy rings as you wish or have access to, of course. So once you're at the fairy ring, use the code DKQ, and once you enter the Glacier cave, you should have the Stone of Chest boost for the next 4 hours. Getting to the next bank, take your Frozen Key, ceremonial armor set, a Trollheim teleport and some food. Also make sure that you are wearing a Godforce dungeon armor piece like Verdus gloves or boots, so the monsters in the Godforce dungeon area aren't aggressive to you. When you enter the next kill count room, use anticipation so you get 10% less hits. Also keep your freedom ready, because the minions can stun you and they will hit you a lot. When you are close to the door, wield your ceremonial armor suit so you can get to the next bank without kill count. For the gear, I recommend you to have the following items: full Verdus or Tectonic, Verdus wand and book, a God cave from the Mage Arena or a completion escape, Ascension bolts, Verdus boots and gloves, Ring of Vigor. When wielding this ring, you will keep 10% of your adrenaline after using an ultimate. Scrimshaw of the Elements. This Scrimshaw gives you a 6.66% damage increase. Amulet of Zealots and regular prayers. The Amulet of Zealots is a dungeoneering reward that, when worn, increases the boost of activated single stat boosting prayers by 10%, excluding leech curses. An aura. I will talk about auras later in this guide. I recommend you to use the following inventory setup: 1 overload potion, 1 prayer renewal potion, 1 adrenaline potion, a royal crossbow or better, a shield switch. Use a first year kite shield if you have that. If you don't, use an arcane spirit shield then. 3 or more super restore flasks. Use more when you use an arcane spirit shield. 3 to 4 Ceredomin brew flasks. These will heal you without using adrenaline, but they decrease your combat stats. Chaos and Soul Wounds for the vulnerability spell. This spell will offer you a 10% damage increase for the next minute. Dust or Air Runes for the Air Wave or Air Surge spell and the Air Ball spell. Fill your inventory with attuned portent of restorations, but keep 1 inventory slot open for a Rocktail. A Portent of Life. Use a Sign of Life if you don't got 99 divination yet. Take 1 Rocktail, a Unicorn pouch and some scrolls, a Ring of Wealth so you have a higher chance to get the next item. Your yak should be filled with Rocktails. These are my 2 ability bars that I use to solo next. Look on RuneScape to the ability details if you don't know what the ability does. Please pause the video if you want to take a closer look to every ability. I'm using the following 4 auras. Runic Accuracy Aura. Upon activation, this aura gives offensive magic spells greater chance of hitting their target, ranging from 3 to 10% depending on which tier aura you got. Master Knockout Aura. This aura will give you a 30% damage increase when Nex is below 15,000 life points, so this will speed up the Zeros phase a lot. Penance Aura. This aura enables the player to gain prayer points equal to 5% of any damage they receive. Sharpshooter Aura. Upon activation, this aura increases your ranged accuracy by 3 to 10% depending on which tier aura you got. Before you enter the next room, you should make sure that you're bonfired for the life point boost, eaten to full HP and that you still got all your prayer points. You can also activate your aura and scrimshaw now if you haven't already. When you are completely ready, you can enter the next room and start with your solo kill. The smoke phase is really easy. Just make sure that you use anticipation as much as you can, so she doesn't drag you away. And when she still does it, you can still use freedom and run back to the start position, because you have to make sure that you never stand on the bridge. Make sure that you wield your shield at the start, to gain some adrenaline to start with. What I use is resonance, preparation and freedom. After that, I escape back and wield my offhand weapon. Drink an overload and pray renewal sip, and then you can click on next. Use anticipation now and vulnerability, so you do 10% more damage on next. Now you should use impact, combust and concentrated blast. After that, asphyxiate. When she says there is no escape, you should use wild magic then and concentrated blast if possible. Doing that will do some damage on next when she runs away. Repeat this progress now until she calls Fumus. Always use wild magic and concentrated blast when she says there is no escape, to do as much damage as possible. Now that she calls Fumus, you should use your range weapon and switch to your range ability bar. Make sure that you use anticipation so next won't drag you away. Use fragmentation shot and then rapid fire. After that, Fumus is almost dead. Just use some basic abilities to gain adrenaline and finish Fumus. You should use protect from range at shadow phase. Always try to avoid the black shadow that she spawns under you, so you won't get hit. When Fumus is dead, switch back to your mage weapon and mage ability bar. Use vulnerability on next and then concentrated blast to switch to the shadow phase. Put on your range prayer when she switches to the shadow phase and avoid the black shadow. Use metamorphosis if you have 100% adrenaline. Use impact, combust and concentrated blast. After that, run to melee distance and use dragon breath. Get back out of melee distance and start using asphyxiate. After that, just finish her off until she calls Umbra. Now that she called Umbra, switch to your range weapon and range ability bar and start killing Umbra. Still watch out for the black shadow that she spawns under you, always try to avoid it. The blood phase is the hardest phase to learn and complete, because she heals a lot and you have to get her under 80,000 life points. Here are a few quick notes. Always try to kill at least one river until you got more experience at the blood phase. Make sure that you use vulnerability on next when she siphons, escape away from next when she calls a blood sacrifice, and never hit next when she siphons. Switch back to your mage weapon and ability bar when Umbra is dead. Use vulnerability on next until you see the 76 XP pop up. After that, use concentrated blast to switch her to the blood phase. Immediately use wild magic when you see concentrated blast hitting next, so you stall your wild magic. Switch to protect from magic and use anticipation and freedom to get back to 100% adrenaline. Then you should get to melee distance and you use metamorphosis, then drink a sip of your adrenaline potion. Click on next when she enters Siphon, so you use your Stealth Wild magic on her. Then use Impact and Dragon Breath. You should have at least 50% adrenaline now. Start using Air Asphyxiate. This ability can do 4 hits if they don't splash. Use Concentrated Blast when Asphyxiated and escape away when she calls a blood sacrifice. Now use Wild Magic and Impact and Concentrated Blast on her. She will almost start siphoning now. Immediately use Combust and Concentrated Blast on a river when she starts siphoning. You can also use Chain to deal damage to 2 rivers if the other one is nearby. Get back on X when one river is dead, and use as many thresholds as you can. Make sure that you can escape away when she calls a blood sacrifice. You can always kill the second river so you are sure that next won't heal that much. Now you should repeat this until she calls Cure. Switch to your range weapon and ability bar when she called Cure. I will show you this phase now again on normal speed. Don't expect that you can do this all perfect on your first try, just keep practicing and improve everything what you do until it's perfect. can die really easy in the ice phase, so make sure that you always have full HP, especially when you are learning solo next. Quickly a few notes about this phase. Immediately use anticipation when she calls a prison. Use freedom if you forgot or weren't able to use anticipation. You should eat to full HP after that. Escape away when Nex says contain this, so you won't get hit by his ice barrier. If you still got trapped by his barrier, use freedom and eat some food after, because you won't be able to eat food without using freedom, because you got stunned actually. However, you can still use bruise without using freedom. Switch back to your mage weapons and ability bar if you killed Cure. Use vulnerability on Nex and concentrated blast after that to switch to the ice phase. Try to get to 100% adrenaline so you can use metamorphosis when you get prisons. When you get prisoned, use freedom. If you couldn't use anticipation, then use metamorphosis and start doing some abilities to gain adrenaline when you are eating to full HP. Also use your adrenaline potion if you are able to, then try to do as much DPS on Nex as you can. When she calls contain this, try to escape away if possible, else run away. After that, do again as much DPS as you can and use anticipation because you will get prisoned soon. Again, eat the full HP when you get prisoned and use some basic abilities. It is really important in this phase to do as much DPS as possible. The more DPS you do, the less prisons you tank, so the less food you use. Repeat this until she calls Glacies. Try to kill Glacies as fast as possible. Make sure that you used anticipation before she calls a prison or run away when she says contain this. To kill Glacies really quickly, you should use the following 3 abilities: Fragmentation Shot, Snapshot and Rapid Fire. Quickly switch to your mage weapons and bar when Glacies is dead, so you can get next to the Zeros phase. Nex will heal again to 80,000 life points. She will also activate the turmoil, so she does way more damage on you this phase. Zeros phase is actually the phase that can cost you a lot of food if you don't use a shield. Try to use anticipation as much as you can, so you receive 10% less damage for the next 10 seconds. You can use anticipation every 24 seconds. When Nex starts soul splitting, use debilitate so she does 50% less damage to you and she will heal less. When you are low on food in this phase, you can always switch to your shield and do a lot of defense abilities. It's very easy with a shield to do this phase without food, but the phase will take a lot longer. So as long as you still got a decent amount of food, I would highly recommend you to use your offhand weapon so you can kill her really quickly. The Zeros phase is pretty easy. Just do as much damage as you can and make sure that you are still overloaded. Use anticipation when you can and use debilitate when she starts soul splitting. Make sure that you're always above 4k life points, because she had a lot with her mage attacks on you even through your courier. Quickly wield your Ring of Health and run away so you won't get hit. Congratulations, you just soloed Nex. I really hope you are able now to solo Nex with this guide. I appreciate it a lot if you could leave a thumbs up and a comment, because this guide took me a lot of effort to make. Anyways, good luck on soloing Nex.